Hey everybody, this is Rob Szobski from Szobski Design. I'm coming to you live from the Buffalo Business and Banter podcast. I'll be speaking with local entrepreneurs to find out their mindsets, winning strategies, what makes them tick, and why they love our city. So today our guest is Josh Bornhoeft, my good friend. Josh, would you like to say hello to the people?
Hello, people of the earth and beyond.
And beyond.
Josh Bornhoeft? I am Josh Bornhoeft. And Rob, thank you so much for having me here today.
Thank you, my friend.
Just like anytime we get together, like, it's always fun to see where a conversation goes, so let's go.
Yeah, we've already had like 3 podcasts tonight. We just didn't record them.
Right.
So
Little did we know.
We've been a little all over the place, but let's start off with how we met. I initially met you when Madden came in and introduced us about the Tuk Talks project.
Yep. I had the Tuk Tuk, the rickshaw that I bought in Denver, styled from Thailand, and I was inspired from traveling in Thailand, like zipping through the streets on these. They weren't electric over there. This one was electric, as you know, but it was just a wild experience. So at the time, like, we had a vision and we brought it to life and brought this really fun opportunity to Buffalo.
For anyone that doesn't know, Josh, I, and Mark Madden shot a short documentary. We had guests like Robby Takac, Addison Henderson, Burke, Zamir Gata, and we took them on a tour through Buffalo and the Tuk and had a bunch of fun interviews and documented life in the city.
Dude, it was so fun.
It was amazing.
Like, each interview had its own, like, unique qualities too. Yes. Like, I still will never forget the interview with Burke. Still, like, impacts me so much.
That was the best one.
Best one. Like, easily. Like, to have Robby and Philip right there and just raw.
Yeah.
And
you did phenomenal.
It was, oh, thanks. I truly, like, it's the best interview I think I have ever conducted or been a part of. But we'll see.
It was epic, my friend. And actually going back, I did say the first time I met you was when Mark introduced us, but that's actually not true, because a couple years earlier I was actually doing graphic design work at Underground Wraps.
Right.
Where you brought the Tuk in and had it wrapped in the
Zubas.
Yeah, the Zuba colors.
Zubaz.
So
yeah, and that was legit. Like, that was approved from Zubaz, and like, because there's a lot of ripoffs. There's a lot of, Bills Mafia fans and Bills fans that, they take their own spin on it, which is cool. But it was nice to have that, like, legitimacy. And I remember when we first introduced the vehicle to the internet and, like, it's a new wrap job and everything, there was, like, someone's always got to say something, right? There was a guy that commented and was like, "That's NFL logoing. Like, you can't do that." And I'm like, I did, like, this whole, like, I was like, oh, okay, let's set this straight. Like, actually, it has nothing to do with the NFL, but thank you for your inquiry. Here's a web link to Zubaz. Didn't hear anything back, obviously. But, some people just always got something to say, but, like, the wrap job at Underground Wraps was so phenomenal. And it's great that's where you made the shirt.
That is.
The Buffalo Business and Banter.
Buffalo Business and Banter, baby.
Pachow.
Pachow.
Pew pew. That was, like, the most common way to get around in Southeast Asia. Like, rickshaws, auto rickshaws. Like, you think of rickshaw and you think of, like, the OG Chinaman. Like bopping down, like, in the carriage. Yeah. He's got his hat and he's just taking people in the carriage. So that's, like, the original rickshaw. And so over there you have these, like, dude, like, these put together Tuk Tuks that, like, I remember one time I was, like, sitting on a battery and I'm like, I hope this thing doesn't fry my nuts. Because, like, I'm in a pretty vulnerable space.
Yeah.
But, like, driving in them was incredibly exciting. Like, you're holding on for your life at times. Literally.
Riding in it was exciting.
Oh, isn't it? Like, that's one of the things that we wanted to share. And so, we came back and we were kind of like just mulling over like ideas. We're like, we're doing the same jobs. Like, let's take a look at something we can do. Like, okay, well, we enjoy doing that abroad, and we enjoy the city of Buffalo because it has so many things to offer. The architecture, the history, the people, the food, the drinks, the music, the arts. It is thriving in that way. And so when we're on this vehicle, like, it gives you a way to see things from a different perspective. You're going at a slower speed. You don't have a window or door blocking your viewpoint. And like, you remember, like, too bad you didn't have that long hair back then, because that'd have been blowing in the wind, looking all luscious.
Thank you. Thank you.
But yeah, you had shorter hair when we first started that project.
Yes, absolutely.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm not quite at your level, but at any rate, so we're like mulling over deal, like, what if we got one of these to Buffalo? And so we did some research. We found a company in Denver, Colorado. They were called Tuk USA, and this was considered a motorcycle limo. So the front driving mechanism is a throttle, and it is that the steering handlebars, and you're sitting in a seat, and then you got the two carriage with the two wheels in the back, and then your two bench seats that face each other. And so we thought about this, and then we were actually doing another trip to Thailand, and we had a long layover in Paris. And so it was like 6-7 hours. So we're like, all right, we got to get on the subway. Let's go see Notre Dame. And this was before those fires and everything. Yeah. But we didn't have much time, so we just like looked at it from the outside, and I was like, holy shit, that's Notre Dame. Like, beautiful. And then we're like, all right, let's get a cab and just go to the Eiffel Tower. Well, wouldn't you know? The cab options included an Tuk motorcycle limo. So the same one that we brought to Buffalo was sitting there waiting to take people.
Yeah.
So we got in it, and this is such a wild and wonderful memory. So we're sitting across from each other like we are right now. Like, like in the Tuk Tuk, like it's close, but you have the seats that face each other. And I think that's a really great thing, because you have other electric vehicles that you're sitting, front of, like, you're looking at someone's back. But when you have the two facing each other, it creates a whole nother atmosphere. It's like commiserating, you're sharing, you're not like looking at the back of someone's head.
Yeah. Yeah, that was great. Every time I was on that thing, it was amazing.
Right? And that's like the feeling we wanted to share. And so we're literally driving down the River Seine in Paris to the Eiffel Tower. And we looked at each other and we're like, we got to do this. And that was the deciding moment. And so we did our trip to Thailand. It was so great. We had I think there was 7 of us.
Go.
And which, sometimes traveling with a group can be a little dodgy, but, you figure things out as you go. It's like life. But we got back. I did a business trip to Denver. And I had lived in Denver before, and so I was super stoked to go back. But I was coming in as this young buck, potential entrepreneur. I guess I was entrepreneurial at that point.
Absolutely.
And went and I drove the vehicle. We got the specs on it. Figured out how we were gonna swing it, how we were gonna get back to Buffalo. And so we pulled the trigger. We purchased the vehicle. We started the business, Queen City Tuk Tours. And so with Buffalo, you have a smaller window of operation. So it turned into kind of like a seasonal thing. But we operated for about 2.5 seasons until pretty much the rug was pulled out from underneath us. And it was, the restrictions on insurance and policies and coverages and things like that, because the local agency that we had, for whatever reason, they were closing their doors. So that happened. We got rolled to another insurance agent locally, and she called us and she's like, wait a minute. This is not the proper policy for what your endeavor is. So like, okay, well, get us the policy. Just thought it would be that easy. And they're like, well, this might be outside of my my scope of knowledge. So they like went to a higher up, and then we had a couple of conversations back and forth, and then they called me back and they're like, hey, so we're not willing to take on the liability and risk, so we're canceling your insurance policy. And that was like a hit, because like that was going in effect within a few days. Right. So it was like halt operations, like, and then I just like went through, you know, I called so many companies across the state.
I know you told me some ridiculous number.
It was stupid. Like I was just calling anybody and just getting turned away. And then I was like reaching out like Ohio, Illinois. I know that there was a company in Florida. And so what I was also finding was there were other companies that purchased this vehicle that were running into the same issues. So a lot of people, like, you know, they would make their tours donation based and things like that. But I was trying to be like an effective business. So that kind of took the wind out of my sails after just being told no, 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 no. And so that got like just set aside for a bit. And it still has been like a really tough growing pain to fail. And I learned so much along the way. And that's the beauty of jumping, you know, when you're not sure if the net's going to catch you, but like, you know, we felt we were bringing something unique. We wanted to share. It was experiential. It connected people. And that was like one of the greatest things about business and small business was networking. Like, it was one of my favorite parts about it, actually.
Yeah, I mean, every time you talk about it, your eyes glow. And every time I've been in it and seen people in it, everybody's glowing because it's just something different, and it's great.
And it brings you to the moment. And there's there's many things out there that can bring us to the moment, but it was like, whoosh, like a drop in. Because you got the wind coming at you. You might be hanging out. We might be taking a tight turn. And, you know, you can really see what's around you, like, openly.
Yeah. So anybody in the audience can help my friend out with some insurance policies. You know, if you can drop your email at the end or whatever you want to do. But that would be wonderful.
For sure, you know, and I felt the feeling of failure. Like, even though it was like something outside of my control, for a while, it really affected me and still does.
Oh, I feel your pain, man. I've had a vape shop go under and 3D printing business that didn't quite take off, and that I might bring back. The vape shop, that's a negative.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
but you kept on going, and you're still cooking with ideas.
And back at you. You know, as like we were talking earlier, like, you know, I'm starting to feel that, like, that okayness, that comfortable space and that confident space to get back out there in whatever way is for me and the things that resonate with me and that I can share. Like, whenever, like, you know, you travel, like what is like a highlighted memory that you have of traveling?
Oh man, being alone in Mexico with my whole family worried about me, having the time of my life.
Beautiful.
With no fear in my heart.
I love it.
Actually, when we did finally really meet and connected with the Tuk project, the first night was at the Stantler we met.
At the Witch's Ball?
No,
Or no?
we had a pre-Witches Ball meeting. I think I met you at.
Okay, right.
We connected because you were talking about your overseas experiences, and I was like, "Oh, I just got back from Mexico," and we
Right.
talked a little bit about some plant medicines, and you know, that was very connecting.
Yeah.
Like we honed in on each other really quick because we knew we were on the same level.
Yeah.
And you know, we could talk about plant medicines. I don't know where you want to go. This is open to whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah.
So for the record, I've done a couple different plant medicines, a few different plant medicines. I've done ayahuasca, peyote, you know, verified shamans.
Yeah, I mean, those are like entering into those spaces is sacred, and the power, the feelings and the experience you go through is otherworldly. Like,
Absolutely.
you're taken out of the regular space that that we exist in, and you know, however you want to spin it, like you're expanded, or you're experiencing something that is like so powerful that it literally is moving things inside you. And with the understanding of ayahuasca, you know, this medicine sits with you and works through you how it's going to. And it's, I believe, the ideal ceremonial practice is it's a marriage of a leaf from a plant and bark from a specific tree. And it's like generally made into a tea. And yeah, I've been able to experience that on 2 different occasions, which both like held their magnitude. And generally you purge. And
Yes, you do.
and what the idea is that the medicine is working through you, and it's grabbing things that no longer serve you, and you're releasing it.
They're expelling it, which is absolutely true, and that's what the shaman told us ahead of time. Anybody thinking about doing ayahuasca, definitely, if you feel like purging, purge immediately, because I fought it for a while, and it brought me out of the experience, and I regret that. And as soon as I expelled it, I felt amazing, and it really does feel like you're releasing lots of trauma and things you don't want anymore. You let it go.
Yeah, and on that note, like, the world has been through so much. Buffalo has been through so much. Like, nobody's immune or, you know, hasn't had like a traumatic experience that like affects you. And that's part of the human experience, but I think that it's not a burden that we have to carry with us forever.
Right.
And just like plant medicines and other modalities, there are ways to upheave this emotion, move that emotion, and start to work through these traumas. And, you know, that's really where I was starting to find some real, true healing and letting go of some of these feelings that like were gut-wrenching, like that manifested into physical pain. And one of those things that is still impacting me to this day, and it will for the rest of my life, is breathwork. And when I first experienced breathwork, it was really emotion that I couldn't move through based around my mother's death. And that journey was suffering unlike I've ever seen in my life. And I pray no one has to experience that. Because it's one thing to see suffering. It's another to see it in a family member, especially a mother. And, you know, in that day, like I can vividly remember it. where we are doing this intentional breathing is and this circular breathing. I didn't really know what I was getting into. But I felt supported in that room, which was huge. And that's something that I try and curate in my own breathwork journeys that I help to lead people through.
You do very well, because that was my first breathwork experience, and you did amazing. I felt wonderful. We had to schedule one before you leave, actually.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, you know, for anybody that's curious about breathwork, like there's some really great videos online, or if you have any questions, like reach out. And in no way am I trying to pressure or like provoke people into this, but it's just something that helped me. And so when I experienced this movement and the purging of that emotion, like it was wild. Like the room was filled with screams, with crying, with laughing, with shrieks, with shaking, with like just this erratic movements and things. And it was just like people that were dropping in, like deep. And when you do this intentional breathing, this holotropic breathing, it takes you out of the reservation, or like the veil or the wall that's between you and that emotion or that feeling or whatever's trying to come through. And so I kept going. Like I kept wanting, you know, to chase the dragon. And the dragon ended up being, you know, some demons. And, you know, not even like, it can be a whole multitude of experiences that you just don't really know what's going to come. But it helps to push you and urge you through it. And a lot of times when I see some of my students in class, it's a variety of experiences. But sometimes, you know, you come to this place of understanding about something. Maybe something that's been, you know, following behind you to a distance. You know, traumas like loss of loved ones, you know, all sorts of things that impact us in that way that kind of stick with us. And it is a true gift. Like one of my favorite components to the breathwork and those classes is the sharing afterwards. Because it's little bits of wisdom that each individual comes to on their own. And more often than not, it is transposed or transferable to us all. And so everybody like comes together, and it's quite a space, like, you know, when you're feeling vulnerable. Like right now. I'm on camera. There's a microphone. Like, you know, sometimes it takes us a minute to like be comfortable.
Thank you for going there. Like I know you've told me before, but I appreciate you going there right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've come to a place to like really finding that if I talk about these things, not only am I removing it from being stagnant, I'm bringing it out into the world and out of me. And with sharing, you know, you never know what someone else in your field might be able to share or just hold space. Like sometimes we just need to let it out. And it's not necessarily that we're always looking for feedback or, you know, looking for the answer, but it's just like a way, like, you know, when you're writing in a journal, or like for the first time I was doing video journaling. Have you ever done that?
Oh, no, but I have a few things I'm starting up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm. Video journaling is just so different because you're seeing yourself in that rawness. And like that, and like audio, like just like recording.
I was going to start this week. I was going to record some affirmations to play back to myself. Like I told you, I started my Udemy breathwork course yesterday.
Right.
Meditation, music, and trying to get back into that. And I need it. Like I can tell, like sometimes I get a little all over the place. I have so much going on all the time, you know, between marketing the business and different clients, and I'm doing this job, that job with the kids, trying to make time for myself.
It's a lot.
Yeah, and I get frazzled. I'm like, I gotta start bringing all this in and really start working on myself again, because I've been, not that I've been going off the rails, but
What do you mean?
I'm not feeling in tune with myself the way I know I can be.
Life happens.
Right.
And of course this is related to business, to self. These are components to being okay to like get out into the world. Like, we carry this backpack of weight that we've gathered through our lifetime, and who knows, previous lifetimes. I don't know. Like,
I think so.
I think so too. And like, you know, that's another thing about individuality and living in the human condition. You know, there's no one way. There's billions of people on this planet. How could there possibly be one way to live? It's insane. And so, like, I was having this conversation with my friend the other day, and it's like, so we gather these tools, right? We've got like a toolbox of like different things that help us through, or, you know, whatever, what do we want to call it? But like sometimes like things can be so crippling, it's hard to reach for those tools. And I'm sure we've all experienced that. I know I have.
Definitely, yeah, of course.
You know? And so it's just like being mindful, and like one of the things that with my business with Breathwork is, I don't know whether it's like a tagline or anything, but it's like just something that I try and remind myself is one simple breath. Like one simple breath can take that trajectory and give you a moment. Like, and now you have time to respond versus reaction.
Right.
And again, guilty, but if we can find more of those moments of awareness, like, it helps to take all that clutter that we're being bombarded with and be like, okay, what do I need to focus on right now? And that absolutely, like with whatever it is that you're trying to do out there in business in the world, like, it can be inundating. You know I had a hard time asking for help. And that was another strong learning part to entrepreneurship. Because at a point, I just felt like everything had fallen onto my shoulders. And it was hard for me to like find an area of focus. So it's like, okay, you got the website, you got bookings, you got, you know, emails and finance and networking and like all these things. But what I loved about Buffalo too, and Buffalo is so community minded, and there are so many places where you can find help, where you can find advice, where you can work together and collaborate, and there's just a really good support system in Buffalo, I feel.
I think you're right.
And that's
you've just talking to you, you've done a little bit of everything with everybody. Like, you've done it. For me, that's what this is about. Like, I know a lot of people, and I've done a lot in Buffalo.
Yeah, you have.
But I feel like haven't even scratched the surface. You know what I mean?
Same.
I have so many projects I'm working on. So many projects I haven't even had time to work on or put any energy into. Lots of stuff going on. Big stuff. You know, we did our Tuk film. Mm-hmm. That was huge. Mm-hmm. That's just scratching the surface of what I want to do. Mm-hmm. You know, I worked with Benny, worked with Conway. I've done a little bit of everything I've wanted to do. Addison Henderson brought me in. Mm-hmm. I'm very happy to say he's a good friend of mine now. Mm-hmm. Mark Madden had an event I was like, oh, for that film with that Addison Henderson? I was like, hell yeah, I'll go shoot that. And I was like, I need to meet that guy.
Dude.
And I met him that night. You know, I went above and beyond as I try to do. Mm-hmm. He immediately gave me a job on the Givers of Death film.
Amazing.
After that, you know, he starts inviting me to things. We hit it off. Starts giving me more projects, and we have an amazing relationship. Like he's got some big things in the works too that I've actually already worked on that is unannounced. So everything I've wanted to do, I've done, and now I just need to do it bigger.
And you are. I didn't mean to interject there, but like I'm just thinking about when we were at the premiere at Transit Drive-In.
Okay, yeah.
And we're like showing up, you know, in the limo bus, and like Addison's up on the roof.
Yeah.
Like that night, like I have goosebumps right now because that
was a big deal.
That was a big deal. And man, do you remember like his speech?
Oh, I recorded that.
We miss him, but we wish he was here. So if you don't just mind, can you just give us 15 seconds of silence for the brother and great friend, a man of the world that changed the world, Chadwick Boseman.
That hit. And
he's a powerful speaker. Powerful.
He's a force of a human. Like
I thought he took that from his father, and I was just with him a few weeks ago, and his family was there, and his mom was speaking to me and my friend, and she just super powerful motivational speaker. And I'm like, oh, he didn't just get this from his father, he took it from both, and they've got it. I'm like, I need to take some notes.
Like, yeah, could you imagine being a product of that? Like, I mean, well, look at it. Like, Addison is such a creative force, and his name's escaping me right now, but from Black Panther, who he was talking about when he was on the roof.
Chadwick Boseman.
Yes. And he had such a nice set of words to memorialize his life and what he's done for film. And I was actually just recently watching Chadwick was doing a college like speech at graduation, and just like Addison, like he's got a way with words. And it is, you know, it's sad that light is not with us anymore, but you can see, because didn't they both work together on something?
Oh yeah, they were working together for probably over a decade.
Yeah,
I'm not positive.
Yeah,
they were very tight.
Yeah, and oh man, like again, like that night was so cool because we got to have our little snippet on the big screen, and it was like the trailer for our episode with Addison, and that was like, whoa.
And that was the first time you saw Givers of Death, right?
Oh yeah, I want to watch it again.
Oh, just streaming everywhere, man. Go get that.
Okay, all right.
It's on Showtime.
Okay, dang.
But yeah.
All right, I gotta watch it again. Like,
oh man, I've seen that a number of times. It's an amazing film. Anyone that hasn't seen Givers of Death, G.O.D., by my guy Addison Henderson, is missing out. Go rent that. Go watch that today. Yesterday. Go watch it yesterday.
Yeah. And
powerful film. Like so many. That thing, to me, it's a classic. That's going to be one of those. If it doesn't hit hard right now for everybody, it'll catch on soon, and it'll be one of those cult classics.
And just like, you know, he is such in support for film, but also like film in Buffalo. And now like Buffalo is becoming a pretty major hub for film. Like they're building a huge studio on Niagara Street. Guillermo del Toro.
I know, I missed him. I am a big fan of his. If you haven't seen Cabinet of Curiosities, watch those immediately if you're a fan of horror.
I just started watching his Pinocchio.
Oh, that was good too, man. That
What?
was good too.
And dude, I was, as we scroll through social media, there was like this video that came up. There's this guy talking about Pinocchio and how like Pino is pineal gland, like third eye.
I saw that video a few years ago. That Santos
And
Bonacci.
Occhio, yeah.
Santos.
And what was Occhio? It was like
Like Italian, or I forget what, or I don't know if it was Latin. It's
what it
eye.
meant.
Eye. Third eye.
Yeah.
So
Right.
Story Pinocchio is turning into a real person by activating your pineal. That's the gist of it.
Absolutely. Yeah, and like, so, we're talking about, plant medicines. We're talking about breath work. And these things, like, I am not kidding. Like, so with ayahuasca, it releases DMT. That's like one of the components to the journey and experience. And I don't know if you know this, but you can activate the release of DMT within your own body via breathwork.
I believe it, because after your breathwork session, I mean, I don't think I've released DMT, but I definitely released a lot of something, because I've never felt anything like it after just breathing.
Isn't that wild?
I definitely released some trauma, and like I felt like my hands were kind of going and shaking a little bit, and there was something going on there that I could feel was good for me.
Yeah, and it stirs things up. And, we were saying, like, the feeling, like, a lot of times I'll get people that will describe it as, like, tingling sensation in the fingers, the toes, in the lips, you feel like some tingling. Sometimes people's mouths will kind of, like, constrict. And you'll get, like, this thing, like, your hands can tense up, and it's, like, called tetany. And, it is a very common experience while you are doing this breath work. And, another component to the breath work is that you are altering your body's pH. So the balance in your blood, you are hyperoxidizing the body. So you are literally transforming the environment within your body. So yeah, things are moving. And another thing, just like I was saying, is like in my training, I legitimately went through a DMT trip induced by my own breath. Now, talk about mind-blowing.
I believe it.
Wow. Like, there's so much power that we have it. It's like, that's the cool thing about also leading people on these journeys, is that I'm just like a coach. I'm the space holder. Like, you out there breathing, you guys are the ones that are doing the work. You are, tapping into your healing abilities. It's not me. And it's great to see, sometimes that understanding that comes through, and it's with breathing. You have it with you everywhere you go. We're breathing right now.
I know. I don't think I'm breathing properly, though. I need some more classes.
Yeah, man, come on out.
All right, everybody, quick commercial break. I'd like to thank our sponsors, which are myself. So big thanks to Szobski Design. For any of you that don't know, that is my marketing agency. We offer marketing consultations, videography, photography, copywriting, and any professional guidance you might need for your business. I also like to give a big shout out to Lit 716. We have a new e-commerce store with Buffalo merchandise, t-shirts, mugs, you name it, we got it. Go check that out at lit716.com. We already covered a lot of the reasons why you love Buffalo. I wanted specifically you to go through like your top handful of fun new businesses that you know about locally, or even if it's not just a business, like a specific entrepreneur, and for people to follow and for people that I might want to interview.
Yeah.
So if you know.
Yeah. So one of the first ones that come to mind is my friend Steve Ambrose. He is doing so many wonderful things with his app Appetit. So he has created a really nourishing platform for people to order out in Buffalo. And it is like a subscription-based thing, so it's not like where some of those other delivery services like DoorDash and I don't know, I forget what the other ones are or whatever, but like
Uber Eats.
Yeah, it actually costs the companies quite a bit. So Steve has come up with a really great opportunity for getting the word out for different restaurants, and now like he started in Buffalo, expanded to Rochester and beyond. Like he's just growing, and it's so awesome to watch it. I mean, like look at Casa Azul, like what we just experienced tonight. Like
Casa Azul was great tonight.
Fantastic. Like everything, like atmosphere, drinks, all of our courses were stellar.
It was great.
Yeah, it was a good time too. Yeah.
Who was that? Zena?
Zena is the owner, and my man Ken back in the kitchen.
Okay.
Yeah, they're great. Yeah, they're great.
Nina at the bar?
Nina, I think, was the bartender. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Socotra Cafe _716 on Ridge Road is absolutely fantastic. Amin? I think it was Amin.
Yeah, I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Great dude. Go check that out. Beautiful in there.
Yeah.
Great experience and fantastic coffee.
Yeah.
Just got to give it 5 or 10 minutes to cool off. Steaming hot.
Yeah. I mean, they let you know at least. You know, it's not like a surprise. But, yeah, it was, like, really neat to, like, chat with him about, like, his travels and what brought him here and, like, his love for Lackawanna. And, you know, again, starting a new business. You know, you get a lot of people who are transplants to Buffalo that are starting businesses and, you know.
Straight from Yemen.
Yeah. And, like, to see those pictures in there, he's like, yeah, I've been to all these places. It's like, cool. And it was, like, that drink was delicious. Like, it's a coffee experience.
It was.
Yeah.
We lucked out.
With Tuk Talks, like, this is where it really correlates into the theme of Buffalo business and banter. Like, our mission statement literally was to highlight people who were having an impact in Buffalo, not necessarily from Buffalo, like Zamir Gata, but like on that note, like how cool. So a travel companion to Anthony Bourdain, the late Anthony Bourdain, still such an inspiration to so many people. It was like an episode in like the Rust Belt series that Anthony Bourdain shot in Buffalo, Cleveland, and somewhere else. Maybe Pittsburgh, I forget. But he brought Zamir to the States. And it was Zamir's, I think, first time to the States. And he kind of fell in love with Buffalo. And then we got to kind of experience a little bit more of his energy and way when we did the interview at Liberty Hound, as we're talking to this Russian peacemaker.
It was a blast.
Oh my gosh. And like to have like the battleships as like a backdrop to like
Yeah, it was perfect.
It was perfect. Yeah, there was some celebration of spirits with Samir vodka there. Oh man. It's like and I'm still so grateful that like he is like a friend now. Like we'll talk here and there.
Yeah, I got to get out next time he's here. I didn't make it out last time.
Yeah, all good. It was like, you know, we were celebrating his birthday and There was just so many cool people in that room too. That was really neat. But yeah, like, to be connected and, like, to me sometimes, like, I don't always know my worth or my value. And I think it's just like, you know, being like, okay, I'm not higher or lower than anybody else. But, like, sometimes, like, you know, we got to give ourselves credit where credit's due. Because things can get overwhelming. But, like, if you're moving towards a goal, great.
You knocked it out the park with those interviews too, brother.
Thanks.
Hey, we're doing fantastic right now. But yeah, as far as the Tuk Talks goes, like, I wish you could have made the premiere in August.
I know.
That was a bummer. We premiered at North Park, and
such a beautiful theater. It's like they've done so much. Like, they completely restored that thing, and it's gorgeous.
Yeah, we had Addison. So to me, it was like, Addison's here. His film's premiering. Tuk Talks is ready to go, which he is a part of.
Yeah. That was fun too.
So we had to pull the trigger on that.
Yeah.
And I wish you could have made it. And then the same week, we opened here at my studio at Meraki Private Suites on Seneca Street, right across from Kaz Golf Course, if you want to come in. Got some great tattoo artists and some other businesses here, but this is where I do my photo and video action.
And now podcast.
Official Buffalo Business and Banter podcast.
Love it.
But yeah, segueing from the Tuk Talks, that premiering in August really got the ball rolling on me wanting to do interviews. Because I've played with doing interviews with my Lit 716 brand here and there a little bit.
Sure.
And that was fun, but really sticking a fork in that project, having it premiere at North Park, seeing the reaction, it was amazing. And I was like, you know what? I'd like to make more of these. And I want to start getting involved. I want to meet people. I want to interview people. I want to put content out there that people can enjoy and take in and appreciate and learn from.
Yeah.
And so we're sitting here right now.
Yeah, man. And, like, you know, on the topic of interviews, I didn't know that it was something that I really enjoyed until we started doing that. And, you know, you gave me a lot of support through that. And, like, you captured these moments that, like, I forever cherish. Like, truthfully.
That's amazing. Thank you.
Absolutely. And that's, like, you know, everyone's got a story. Everyone has their set of experiences that have brought them to this place. And to meet people and talk about it, what a great opportunity.
Yeah.
And that was our focus. And I think that, you know, when we all work together, everybody can benefit and thrive. And again, that's the beauty of Buffalo. And, like, look at the storm. Like, people helping people. You hear the stories all the time. You're talking about North Park Theater. Look at the guy Joe, who was a employee there. He's an older man. He lives alone. And I guess he was, like, worried and nervous being alone. So he went to the theater. He walked there in the cold. And this wonderful woman found him, took him into her home right around the corner from North Park. And he had, like, you know, really bad, like, burns from frostbite.
Oh, I didn't even hear about this.
And like, she saved his life and was feeding him and, like, taking care of him and doing what she could. And then once they were finally able to get out and get him to a hospital, they did. And man, oh man, like, Buffalo really comes through. Like, they have sent her, the people can see these good acts and support it by sending, you know, money and thoughts and prayers. And like, the response is just unreal here. And traveling around, like, I love traveling. But I have not found a sense of community like Buffalo has. And that's fucking awesome.
Sounds like you're a big fan, my friend.
Yeah, aren't you? Buffalo love this city. Sorry if that's copyrighted.
I don't think so. Maybe. Yeah, man. Shoot. I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's countless stories of that nature, and yeah, this is like we saw again suffering on another level. People were out of power for days, couldn't leave their house, might not have running water. Like the list goes on. And that was Christmas for most people. And I'm just super grateful that, like, the people I know and I checked in with a lot, like, everybody is okay in my world.
Yeah, me too. I was like, wow, everybody kept their power, like nothing crazy. I talked to a client, though, a few days later, and they had to find a shelter. They lost power. They had to get out of there.
Yeah. Yeah, there was like another story I read where a guy broke into a school, and there was other people that were out there, and he's like, I gotta figure something out. And like, super respectful. Like, they took refuge in the school, and you know, they found some nourishment. And the story is really great. Like, yeah, they caught him on camera, but like, they were like, hey, can someone let us know who this person is? Because we want to thank them. They were there. They took a group photo. They cleaned up everything and left it the way, you know, and they needed a safe space. Sometimes we need a safe space.
Yeah.
And yeah, and, you know, you see how Buffalo businesses are interwoven, and all these creative people that are sharing themselves and, you know, filling those niches and those voids and you know, sharing that with Buffalo and beyond. Like, it's amazing. Like, look at New Era.
Oh, yeah.
What? It started in a little factory in Hamburg, New York, Angola, right around that neck of the woods. And now it is a multi-billion-dollar company that ships products all over the world. Every major sports team and association uses New Era. But yeah, like, that is just like one of the major ones out of Buffalo. But there's so many.
There are.
So many.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, just going through the people I know personally, I was like, oh my God, this list is crazy.
Yeah, and that's why I'm like, you're picking me for the first one?
Well, yeah, you're in town, and you're great, man. I love you, brother.
I love you too, man.
I'm glad you showed up.
Yeah.
We finally got together. You've been back 2 or 3 weeks and it hasn't worked out. Mm-hmm. We're gonna head out after this, possibly, do some exploring. But yeah, man, thank you. It is wonderful.
Absolutely, thank you.
Very fun.
Like, we get to hang out. We get to talk about our like things we've done together and things that we've experienced separately and together, and it's like
next one we'll talk more of our vacations. How I appeared on HBO for 2 seconds.
What?
What else we gonna cover? We can go more into the plant medicines.
Yeah.
You got to give more on your breath work and tell people where to find you right now.
Mm-hmm. Like right now, and coming back to business, you know, I'm working on, you know, expanding my opportunities because this is something I genuinely want to share. And I will be available for one-on-one sessions, small groups, and like what I generally do is hold space in yoga studios. But like, I've already talked to many people, and like, we're networking and like, you know, planning some retreats to host.
Oh,
and
man.
And dude, like, it's so cool. Like, I want to say this before we wrap, because it's something that really helped me in my own personal life. And that was where I had a change of thought, where I understood or came to the understanding that everybody that came into my field served a purpose. That there was a level of importance, or, you know, I've just looked at it in a different way. And I've found that I've been able to be enriched by so many people with having that that sense, because you never know like what someone's going through, what they're gonna share, what they're gonna be to you, what they're gonna be to your business, you know. But that's the beauty of it, is sharing. Like, that's what we're doing here.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And it resonates with me profoundly.
Yeah. So, dude,
Go ahead.
no, you're good. You're good. Go ahead.
Every time we link up, it's beautiful. Like, you're my brother.
Absolutely.
I don't have a brother, but you're my brother. It's official.
It's official.
Now I have a brother.
You heard it.
I have a brother.
Absolutely. And, you know, we've got a lot of great things ahead. And
And like, I'm so happy for you and everything you're pursuing right now.
thank you.
Like I told you, whatever that was, 8 months ago, whenever before you left,
yeah.
you know, we had some great conversations. And good for you, man.
Thanks.
Ecstatic for you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. And like, I'm really excited for what's to come, but also, you know, enjoying moments like right here and right now. Like, wow. Like, we've been able to catch up, like, you know, share some of our own stories, and that's what it's all about.
I agree.
We showed up.
100%. We're here.
We're here.
Oh man, we had like 3 podcast sessions earlier that are maybe a little too racy. Maybe we'll have an X-rated version on Lit 716, man.
The No Pants Dance Off podcast.
No Pants Dance Off. No.
For the
pants.
record.
For the record, I don't have any pants on right now.
We may or may not be. Yeah.
Thank you again for coming on, man.
You're welcome.
I thoroughly appreciate it. Thank you for sharing. We're gonna definitely do this again.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll dive a little deeper into some of those topics that we discussed.
Yes. We might discuss some plant medicines, some adventures in Mexico on my end. I still got to talk about LA and sleeping on Benny the Butcher's couch.
Oh my gosh.
And
Oh, I
mansion.
remember that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we got lots of things to share coming up on these episodes. So
Awesome.
Buffalo
tuned,
Business and
folks.
Banter. We're coming at you live, bi-weekly. This is sponsored by Lit 716, powered by Szobski Design. Where can people find you? Tell them where to find you online.
Yeah, like right now, I have I'm working on a website for my breathwork business. I have my social media, which is Shuaborn716, SHUABORN 716. I don't know if you know that area code, but it's pretty rad. Buffalo, baby. And yeah, you know, I'll be posting events like through social media, and I generally work with yoga studios, and now I can say across the country, because I've been doing it here. I've been doing it out west in Colorado, and I'm super excited to see where this goes, because the goal is just to share, like. So yeah. Thanks again for having me on, and
No, you're welcome.
until next time. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Coffee.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. And I got some video footage, so if you guys want to check out the video footage, I will have some extra clips I'm putting up on YouTube. So go follow us on YouTube, Buffalo Business and Banter. I might put some clips on Lit 716 as well, so go check it out. Signing off, Rob Szobski, Josh Bornhoeft.
Boom.
Boom pow.
Thank you, brother. It has been an absolute pleasure. And again, just I always come back to one simple breath. It's there when you need it, folks. And we'll see you again soon.
Yes. Take care, everybody. All right, everybody. That's all we got for Buffalo Business and Banter. Remember, this is powered by Lit 716, coming to you bi-weekly. I will see you soon. Tune in.